Good evening, YouTube. This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys have had a good Sunday. Hope you guys have some good plans for Labor Day. Uh, Here to deliver either good or bad news for your forecast in regards to that. But before I get into the video, I also want to say I've been noticing the increase in viewership. I really appreciate anyone that has stuck around through the quiet times as things have gotten more active with hurricane season, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more content in the winter. If you aren't subscribed and you're just watching, well, thank you for that. Just let me know what I just hopefully I can keep making good content for you guys and more people start watching. Hopefully we can get to 50 subs by the end of the year. I think it's doable, but time will only tell. Won't count it until it's in my hand. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right to the forecast, shall we? So we had a marginal risk over here. Still ongoing, a few storms still firing off of here. I think there was maybe one severe thunderstorm warning in this area. It's kind of in this little three-state region here on the borders of California, Nevada, and Arizona. I was about to call it Arkansas. Sheesh. Wouldn't that have been something? But there was maybe one severe thunderstorm warning over here. In this mess of things, it's kind of hard to point that out on the map. I'm kind of leaning towards it not being one, to be honest. The storms seem a little bit further off to the east than that. But things are relatively quiet as far as severe weather is concerned. If anything, there's a concern for flooding, mainly around the southeast right now, as we have this cutoff low and that has been pulling energy in from the Gulf of Mexico. Very tropical-esque energy as well. So even if you aren't seeing orange and red on this map right here or on the radar, you're going to get some pretty sufficient moderate to heavy rainfall, so to speak. So if you end up under one of these, just make sure you have a place to take shelter at real quick, because this will be persisting into tomorrow. We'll get into the timing of that in just a moment. But if we actually look at the organized severe threat, really over the next couple of days, we don't really have much of anything going on. It's pretty much the same old story, just patches where we have our garden variety thunderstorms. So for example, we look at day 2, we can just look at this map, this little map right here. Garden variety thunderstorms and four corners, some around California, and a big chunk of the eastern half of the country, especially the southeast. We just have regular thunderstorms, no real threat of any kind at the moment. Hopefully it stays that way. And pretty much the same as even said for Tuesday, so we won't, but of course we're not going to get into that. If anything, I'm more focused on the fire threat than anything, and there's not even much of that. It's up real far to the north. Oh wow, my computer's moving slow. But the fire threat for tomorrow is really far north, right around northern Montana and a little bit of North Dakota in play, but it's an elevated risk. It's not even a critical, which is great news as well. So for the most part, unless you're just really not looking for rain, I'm sure a lot of you aren't, given the fact that a lot of people are wanting a barbecue. Labor Day shouldn't be anything catastrophic, at the very least. I hope I don't have anything happen that makes me eat my words. I'm gonna be like super pissed if that happens. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the temperatures. I mean, we shouldn't be expecting too much to happen. I'm expecting it to be a little bit cooler around the southeast, but anywhere that's not expecting showers and thunderstorms, not really. Might have some bad news for you. And I'm already out here doing crazy stuff with the buttons. But we'll move this along here. We're getting into the morning hours. Still getting kind of warm around the southeast, but for a lot of us, we're actually going to stay below 80, which is good news. Around the Midwest here, however, this is where we might run into a little bit of problems with the heat here. It's going to be mid to upper 90s for a lot of you, unfortunately. And then over towards the west, we're looking at some triple digits still, getting even into the 100 and teens. Not the most ideal situation, unfortunately. Around the northwest even, we're looking pretty hot. I mean, but that's the typical pattern. If it's usually cool in the east, it usually gets warm in the west. But I will hold my breath on what happens next because usually what ends up being in the west will ultimately move to the east. So, might be a little bit of foreshadowing there. But that being said, move this along. I'm going backwards. Funny. And we go into we'll even take a quick look at Tuesday as we're getting back to work. So we're looking at our overnight forecast here. We're getting into the early morning around the eastern half of the country. And it looks like things are starting to try to heat back up around there as this cutoff low starts to dissolve. Still a chance of pop-up showers and thunderstorms around the south and east later in the day. Still a little bit cooler than what we've been, but everywhere else around the country we're still baking, unfortunately. So we're waiting for a little break in the hot weather stranglehold that we have over the rest of the country, but I do think soon there will be a major pattern change coming, and we will go into that maybe in a forecast tomorrow evening. We'll see what happens with that. While we're at it, since there isn't a whole bunch to cover here, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the dew points. I mean, it shouldn't be any surprise here. Nothing really has changed, but this will affect the comfort level of anyone who is trying to barbecue outside, especially around the areas where we're expecting rain. So we roll this along and we get towards the morning hours, and I think that's probably going to be the key time to grill, especially around the south and east, depending on the weather, depending on what the rain does. But around the western half of the country, toward the central part of the country, definitely try to get your grilling done earlier in the day, because once you get towards peak heating in the day, it's not going to be fun times, especially towards the central part of the country. Still expecting 80s and 90s around here, but our dew points are still going to be in the 60s, so it's going to be rough times outside. If you're looking to have a pickup basketball or football game, make sure you're drinking plenty of water beforehand, because that heat and humidity combination will take a lot out of you. I know that firsthand from my job because I'm a landscaper. But really around the western half of the country, like towards the Four Corners and areas further west than that, dew points are a little bit more manageable. Still want to drink a lot of water, but it's nothing compared to what we have going on here. Where we're expecting the heaviest of rain is going to be around the Gulf Coast and maybe towards the Dixie Alley, so to speak. We have the dew points in the 70s, so it's just going to... So basically, you can almost liken being outside, walking outside, to swimming. Well, that's a little analogy I like to use here. So, yeah, if you happen to be around, say, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, it almost feels like you're going to be doing more swimming than walking. That being said, we go to Tuesday. Dew points don't really drop off. If anything, they just kind of maintain themselves. I think the lowest that we'll see on Tuesday might even be 67 in some areas that I saw. So just brace yourselves around the southeast. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a messy start to the week, but that being said, it's no surprises there. We'll do what we can to get through it. So now all we got left to look at really is the reflectivity here. Let's see if we can nail down the timing of the rain. We'll start out with the south and east. Here's this little feature that's associated with the cutoff low around that should be centered right about here. This is also what's kicking Tropical Storm Earl out to sea, or it's playing a part in helping kick Tropical Storm Earl out to sea. If it was a little bit further to the east, it might have turned into a real problem then, though. But move this along. Rain moves out, and we do get a point around the south and east where it looks like we might have some clear skies. So like I said earlier in the morning, that's the time you want to get your barbecuing done around here. The further north and east you go, the rain seems to be a little bit more persistent, and you might want to wait a little bit, or just kind of let things play out as it may, in order to be dry while you're barbecuing. Otherwise, maybe pull the griddle out or maybe the Foreman grill might be a better option for you. So we go later in the day, and now we get more pop-up storms going on around the south and east. So you want to get, like I said, you want to get it done here early if you're going to be doing any sort of grilling or going out. It's probably still going to be cloudy. I can almost guarantee you that. But as we go into Tuesday, it's pretty much the same old story. Maybe the storms are starting to kind of dissipate a little bit, which is good news. Towards the Delmarva and DC, I would expect more rain Tuesday. But when we look towards the western half of the country, it's mainly just pop-ups that we're dealing with here. I'm just waiting on my computer to unfreeze, and we should be good. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's gone. I think we've lost her for a moment. Okay, there we go. We're back. God, I gotta upgrade this computer. I've already updated it recently, and it's just doing crazy stuff. So we'll move this along. As far as the western half of the country is concerned, there's not really a whole lot going on. Not through Monday or Tuesday, heading into Wednesday. So it's good news for you guys. Again, towards the central part of the country, you're going to be very hot and you're going to be very humid. So, like, again, same deal as the southeast. You want to do your grilling, you want to do your outdoor festivities, try to do them early if you can, because it's not going to get much better during the course of the day. But beyond that, I think that's it. There's not really too much more going on here, which I kind of like. Get these videos done a little bit quicker. It's a little slow on my end. It's about 11 minutes. Did ramble a bit. So, hey, it is what it is. But this has been Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. I will see you in the next video. Most likely will be tomorrow. I'll see you guys then.